Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Lifting Yer Spirits. I'm going to show you how to make a gin martini, a really common drink that not many people know how to actually really make properly. So I'm going to show you. And then I'm going to take that drink and give it to a legendary in Berlin, Mr. Jonathan O'Reilly, the crazy bastard sauce himself. We get talking about a number of things, how cookery shows can annoy us, and he's opening up his new kitchen, and my adventures in Egypt. So bear with me on this one, guys. It's the first episode. The sound could be off from time to time. It might not flow as I want it, but it's nonetheless very enjoyable, so I hope you enjoy it.
Where can I get myself a drink?
Hello and welcome to Having a Wee Drink with the Wandering Barman. I've got a guest waiting in the other room and I'm going to make him a drink. And the drink I want to show you how to make is the classic gin martini. So many people know this drink, so many barkeepers can make this drink, but no one can make it well. And it's such an easy drink to do because it only contains 3 ingredients. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to get a lemon, okay? And what we want to do is we want to kind of just take a zest. And then what we want to do is we cut it into really simple, thin strips, okay? So that's what I'm after, okay? Something like that. We put that in there because I'm going to do my martini with a twist. Sometimes you can do it with olives. I'm going to do this with citrus because that's what I like. So I'm going to use gin. I'm going to go 60 mils of gin, okay? It's a strong drink. That's how we want it. And we need some vermouth. Now, you usually use dry vermouth. Sometimes I find dry vermouth a little bit too acidic. So I'm going to use this rosé vermouth, which is slightly sweeter, but it also gives a really nice colour to the drink. It's got this kind of rosé colour. Now, you're only going to add 10 mils of vermouth because you want it to be kind of dry, right? You want a dry martini. That's the sign of a good martini. Sometimes 10 mils is too much for someone, so you only want a bar spoon of vermouth. Keep it simple. Try it out, see whatever taste finds you best and work with that. And that kind of brings me on to a really nice point, actually. A lot of people don't understand that you have to constantly taste your cocktail as you go. It's like something like this classic cocktail, like a Manhattan or a Vesper or a Martini or a Martinez. You have to taste as you go. It's like cooking a steak. It can be, everyone likes it differently, and you can have it raw or blue or medium to rare or well done or whatever. It's kind of similar with martinis. So first of all, what we want is we're going to add, the ice is almost like an ingredient into one of these drinks, okay? The more you dilute, the less of a taste of alcohol you're going to get. You're going to get more volume, but it's going to be less dry, so be careful. Now we add these really lovely, beautiful, clouded ice, right? These have been double frozen, so one's at like -5 to -10, then again at like -18, and that's kind of ice you're wanting because it lasts a long time, dilutes gradually and slowly, so you're not just throwing a bunch of water into your drink. So we slowly add, and we just add till the ice is just about covered, and then we stir. Give it a taste. Okay, we add 2 drops of orange bitters. That's really going to open up the dryness. It's going to open up all the flavours. At this point, Give it another taste. Big difference. Now, we add much more ice to really slow the dilution process. Cool that glass right down. That's what we're after. Now we can really go to work. And those little lemon zests that are in there, those little lemon strips, that's where your citrus is going to come from. Another taste. Now that's how you want a martini to taste, okay? We take our nice clean glass and then we get our julep strainer and then we just pour nicely in. And the colour on that, this kind of transparent with a little kind of rosé kind of touch to it, is really what you're wanting. And the best bit about this is getting those citrus oils on top. You just peel off a bit of your lemon as a zest, just squeeze it, squeeze over, and you see all the oils coming off, okay? You leave it outside the drink. If you leave it inside the drink, it can become a little bitter sometimes when you're drinking, okay? And then it's right there on the nose. Wow, okay. So now, I'm going to put this on a little tray and take this to my friend Jono.
That's right. I'm wondering. Oh, yes.
Hello, Jono. Hello. There you go, man. That's for you. You got a lovely martini, enjoy.
Excuse me. Where can I get myself a drink?
Hello, welcome to Having a Drink with the Wandering Barman. I think that's the name of the show. I don't know yet. Having a tipsiness with the Wandering Barman. I don't know. Anyway,
Having a wee drink.
Having a wee drink, a wee dram. I make a little drink, and then I make it for you, man. And then we just have a wee chat.
Well, fucking thanks very much.
Yeah, what do you think, man? What's on
I
the
haven't tried
nose?
it yet, but this is a lemony one, right? I usually put olives in mine, just because I don't have like jars of lemon at home sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, no, I also like olive, man. I like the saltiness of the olive. I love the saltiness actually in any drink. I'm sure you'll be aware as a...
Yeah, a little bit of salt in there. I wouldn't put just one olive in though. It's kind of, like
Yeah,
I'd put 6 or 7.
Just get the... Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Just a bowl of olives.
Do you want a martini
swimming
with
in
your olive?
gin.
Okay, cool. So...
Well, cheers. Thanks very much.
No problem, mate. Fire in. So... I've got my little beer over here. Sorry, I kind of only had enough gin for one, so I'm just going to have some beer.
So fucking barman, huh?
So, man, I invited you on because I wanted you to be my first guest. We've known each other for so long. One of the first people I got to know 12 years ago when I moved here, and I was kind of going to base. I was going to talk about cookery and cooking and cookery shows. And you also sprung to mind because, well, you've got you are the crazy bastard in Berlin.
I suppose so, yeah. Well, honoured to be the first one on the new show.
Nice.
Yeah, I love talking about cookery shows, love watching cookery shows, so perfect. I'm well up for that.
So, we were talking once before about like when you watch cookery shows, right, that you don't follow the recipe or anything. You usually watch these things for inspiration.
Yeah, I can't really follow recipes at all. There's some sort of block there, some sort of mental block. If I look at a recipe, I don't see the numbers, I just see the ingredients kind of swimming around on the page in no particular order, and I go, okay, I might look at a recipe to see, what have they put in here? They put a bit of cumin in there. That's a good idea, but I can't really follow a recipe. So if I see a cookery show, where someone's going, and you take 50 grams of this and you put it in, that's kind of unnecessary content for me. What I want to see is people eating the food and kind of enjoying it,
Right, okay. I watch a lot of cookery shows.
Yeah.
I get quite annoyed with them, man. I don't know if you watch a lot of cookery shows.
What annoys you about them?
Well, So one is that there's my go-tos. I really like Gordon Ramsay. I really like Jamie Oliver. I kind of like the style and what they do, but they always say, oh, you know, you've got everything just kicking about in your cupboard. This is everyday stuff, 5-minute stuff, and it's like nutmeg and quail eggs and shit, and you're like, I don't have that in my cupboard, man. I just don't have it. You know, I've got super noodles and Branson pickle.
A suspicious half bottle of jam or something. I don't know if I should touch it or not.
Should I take off the mold? Should I throw it away? And then the second thing is like there's a little bit of an increase at the moment of like chefs getting their kids on board. So that's their thing now.
Yeah, I don't like that. Gordon Ramsay is really nice to his kids, and that
I think her name's Lily or
throws
something.
me off a bit. He should be in there like, fuck it, it's fucking raw.
Yeah.
Slapping them about and stuff.
All right, big boy, come here. Yeah. What is this? It's raw. You can have a chicken and put. It's raw. But he always kind of says to her because she's filming it. And then he's always like that. Oh, I think her name's Lily, which kind of annoys me that I know that because that shows how much in popular culture that chefs' kids are actually like
they're part of the brand.
They're getting part of into it. But he always be like that. Pen up, pen down, pen down, Lily, pen down, because she's filming him and he's trying to make scrambled eggs. He's like, fucking the salt, pen down.
Pen down. He's holding the pan, which she's like, what are you on about?
Oh, brilliant. But I think that annoys me because, living and, sometimes it's hard enough to get out of bed anyway, you know what I mean, with how shit the world is. And the last thing I want is to see a little, golden child, a little paedophile's dream, like, a little 10-year-old blonde kid showing you how to make the best scrambled eggs. And sometimes scrambled eggs is the only good thing that I've got going for me in a day, and I don't need a wee 10-year-old telling me that he can do it better
than you, right?
With his non-stick frying pan and his big mansion. He's never going to have any hardship in his life.
Yeah.
That's my
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, Gordon Ramsay, he's like, what I like about Gordon Ramsay, I haven't seen the one with his kids so much, not the one where she's panning. And
yeah, it's funny.
But
yeah.
I like the ones where he's in, bollocking people out of it, because that's kind of what he does. And when he cooks himself, it's like effortless perfection.
It is.
And he's kind of annoyed that everyone else can't do it.
Well, and this is what I'm I think this is what secretly I want to be when I'm doing my drinks. I want to have I want to have absolute perfection, but it's just not the case.
Not everyone can pull it off. Like I was saying, what I kind of prefer watching is not so much people cooking it, maybe people talking about stuff that other people have cooked. Like, Anthony Bourdain, travel logs combined with cookery shows, yeah. David Chang, this kind of stuff, where they're going in and they're saying, hey, look, let's go into this place, really good food in here, I'm going to order, can I have that? Yeah, brilliant, the one I want. And then they eat it with someone and they talk about it, and they kind of talk about the history of the food.
I'll tell you what, okay, a couple of things, right? First of all, there's 3 things about Gordon Ramsay, right, that I love or hate. So there's the kitchen nightmare thing, the American version, and then it got more popular. Sucks. It's just him shouting, and it's the same kind of thing. But when that first started, right, the first 1 or 2 seasons of that, when he was in the UK, he was going to really struggling restaurants that were of Michelin star level. So a guy had got his Michelin star 10 years ago, and he opened a restaurant, and now it's failing. Mm-hmm. So then Gordon Ramsay actually comes in with really sound advice and really takes him by the hand. He goes, look, man, you're kind of you're outdated. You're still using baby carrots. That's so 80s. Or why have you got all this amazing frozen fish that's imported from France? You've got the harbour down the road bringing in fresh prawns every day. I really love that. The third thing that I really love is kind of on the point you were saying about when people travel. When he does his travel programs, and he goes all around Vietnam and stuff, and he's finding out all these tastes.
He's out in the field cooking something in a big wok.
I love that, man. I love that. That's really, really cool. So, is that what brought you on to basically the creation of the Crazy Bastard sauce? Just looking at something and going, I think jalapenos, I want dates and jalapeno. Can we do that? And then you just done it?
Well, kind of, yeah. I just wanted hot sauce that I liked, without loads of sugar in it and without just a shitty vinegar. I wanted good chilies, real chilies, roast them up in the oven, real ingredients. And I couldn't find it, so I had to make it myself.
Because it was always the high chili extract stuff that was going on in Berlin. It was always that, and it was the currywurst stands. It was my actual first experience of really spicy stuff, but it was a gimmick. It was like the Germans were like, oh yeah, this is 1,000 Scovilles or
Yeah,
something.
you get your picture on the wall or something if you can eat it.
Aye. And then John, and there was one up in, I can't remember where it was, man, but I remember we went, it was like just outside the train station, and it was like, there was like 20 different ones, and you had to kind of work your way up. I feel like when we frequented those places that you went, nah, this is rubbish, I think I can make something better.
Well, I went to one of those places once and I asked the guy, so you've got like 15 different sauces, are any of them tasty? And he goes, nah. So, you know, I mean, it's okay. I have to go and make my own.
Right.
But yeah, that was it. I like cooking. I don't like following recipes. I kind of just got a box of ingredients and threw it together and made a sauce, and I thought that's pretty good. Let me see if I can recreate that, but I had no idea because I never wrote it down. So I had to kind of attempt it again, and then a long process. I eventually got a recipe. I forced myself to write it down so I can recreate it, and you said it was good, so I said, well, I better start a business if Chris likes it, right?
So what was the first one again, man? Was it the tomatillo and habanero? I think it might, or was it the jalapeno?
Habanero tomatillo. Yeah, it was called tomatillo habanero at first, and I thought, you know what?
Switch
the chili always comes first.
Okay, the chili always comes first. Hold the door open for that chili. Take it out for a nice meal. Cool, man. Okay, cool. So you've now got you've went from strength to strength with this. I'm sure anyone watching this will be kind of friends of us and know us, and they'll all know that you went from strength to strength. Going from the buymeacoff market, I remember the days where you went down with 50 bottles with your little cart.
A little hand cart, yeah.
And
I didn't even have a bike to bring it with.
You just carry it. And then I would work. I was working in the corner, and you would always come in after your shift and have a couple of pints. How the days have changed, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I now do some shifts in your warehouse.
Yeah.
In your warehouse is mental. But now
life.
you've even went further, and you're opening up a kitchen, or it's kind of like
like a restaurant, like a full-time restaurant. With all of that, going from a market to selling online to having a shop to having a restaurant and all that, none of that was a decision. It all just happened by accident.
I know, man. Yeah, it really did.
Not exactly, but what I mean is, it's like, shit. Okay, we need we need a place to cook the sauce, so I'm gonna have to get like a kitchen, because I just can't be cooking at home forever, right?
Well, it went from like kind of a wee bit cooking at home, and then when you started to get stickers and you were getting copyright and all that kind of stuff, we had to look for an actual kitchen. So you would rent out Cab Slam's kitchen down in
Nansen, where you used to work.
Nansen as well. We done it as well. That right enough. So and then you were like, I can't keep renting kitchens, man. I need to get my own.
Yeah. Well, eventually it's just going to be, because obviously no one's going to rent your kitchen for 50 quid a day. It's going to be, you got to make it worth their while, getting in there, messing with their stuff, using their pots and all that.
Exactly.
So it just wasn't sustainable really long term. So I had to get a loan, I had to get a kitchen, and then when you have a kitchen, it costs money. So how do you get an income? You need to kind of have a shop, right? So now I have a shop, selling the sauce. So you're also selling online. That was kind of always from the beginning going to happen, right? But then, if you have a kitchen and you're using it to make sauce 1 or 2 days a week, which it was back then, then what are you doing with the kitchen the rest of the time? You've just spent a lot of money on setting up a professional kitchen, and it can't be empty all the time. So you have to have a restaurant. You have to have something using it, right?
Yeah.
So then a good friend and now business partner Basti,
also of YouTube fame, Mr.
Absolutely, Cheese Pie. YouTube fame, and just a Berlin fame. People stop him on the street and just shake his hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was like renting pop-up kitchens at the time, doing his fabulous duck burgers.
Yeah, man, that was a while back. Yeah. So that's why he was doing his pop-up. He came in to use your kitchen.
Yeah, to basically sublet it, just to help pay the rent, that kind of thing. And that was pretty slow going at first. Our friends would come around and get a burger and all that, and then it kind of picked up. But I always wanted the place to be always changing,
I think rolling menus is the way forward.
Well, I originally wanted pop-ups, different people in there all the time, from all over the world. Mexican month, Indonesian month.
But you have still kind of held on to that. You've got is it the Filipino thing, or you've got the
We've done
Venezuela
Indonesian a few times. We've done Venezuela. Now the problem, and I love the idea of having people in, renting the kitchen, doing their food, showing their culture and all that kind of stuff. The problem was it wasn't consistent. So the quality of the food would naturally be different, because some people are, make different food than others, and they put different levels of salt in there, and it just kind of it's different people would like it, right?
True.
The price was always something that wasn't stable. So some people overcharge, some people undercharge. It's all relative, of course, but it just wasn't constant.
Yeah.
So, and plus we were inviting like strangers basically into our kitchen to use our equipment, and stuff would be like, where's the roasting tray gone? Oh, got burnt. It got thrown in the bin.
Right.
I need it today. That kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
It made a lot more sense to have Basti in doing
these things,
doing his duck burgers,
yeah.
and then I'm like, can you do anything else? And he's like, well, I can cook a curry.
Yeah.
So here we go. How do we?
He cooks a banging curry, man. The Manchester Mayo.
The Manchester curry man. So that was the thing. We
Yeah.
kind of like we had to. You can't just say Basti's cooking a curry today.
It has to be but then you
There's
were all
something behind it. There has to be something behind it.
That's definitely your.
Yeah.
Your
I like that
part
kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So now we have. No, we've been doing that for years. I mean, I can't believe that we've been doing it for years, but it's actually been years that we've been doing that every weekend with Basti cooking like world cuisine. Cajun. He's never been to maybe he had, and he was in New Orleans, I think. But when I said to him, hey, we should do like New Orleans food, he's like, what am I supposed to do?
Tacos.
Yeah.
Do tacos.
But
He's like,
he came out with an amazing quote once, and this is kind of like the unofficial motto of Crazy Bastard Kitchen is, food is the same everywhere, it's just different ingredients.
That's really good. That's really good.
So with that in mind, like, he can kind of tackle anything.
Okay.
Actually, we're going to do a sushi event just right before the most recent lockdown. It got cancelled.
Vegan sushi, I saw
Vegan
that.
sushi,
Yeah.
Like, we had the menu sorted. We got a Japanese, a local chef and a guy I know from some markets to consult on it, to help us design the menu and work out some of the finer details of it, and it was all ready to go. We'll definitely do that again. So we're getting more adventurous,
Okay, cool. I'm really happy for you, man, that you're getting the kitchen up and running. It's going to be open soon. If it's not already open by the time this podcast goes out, go down and check out Weserstrasse.
Is it past, present, or future?
Is it past, present, or future? Who knows? Multi-dimensional. That's how we like to rock at the Wandering Barman. I was going to say the word consultancy or consultant. It's been grinding my gears lately, man. Like, I would say in the past month.
Yeah.
I think actually no bullshit. The past couple of times I've done some live shows, I've come across some people who are like that. Oh, I'm an IT consultant, or I'm a consultant, and I immediately, and I know this is wrong, but I immediately just think, what a fucking dick.
Bullshitter.
Yeah, what a bullshitter, man. It's like remember we tried.
Expert inverted commas.
You know what that? You know what I think. What an IT consultant is that you call something up and you go, my computer's broke, and someone goes, we'll send someone around, and he goes, aye, it's broke. Here's a number for a guy. That's essentially a consultant.
Consulted, box ticked.
Consulted. You have been consulted that your computer is broke, and I will consult you on finding someone.
Well, even we gave that a stab once. O'Reilly and Davis, what was it?
Bar Solutions.
Bar Solutions. Totally blagging it. The only thing we had was little business cards that said O'Reilly and Davis Bar Consulting.
I've got
established 2009 or something.
Dude, I've got them somewhere, and the whole idea was to go into bars and consult them on how they should run a bar.
To bullshit. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, man. Cool. Well, look, now that we get that out of the way, a couple of little segments that I like to do in the show. One of which is I've been in this lockdown. I've been doing a lot of reading on kind of like science and religion and just general Wikipedia and down wormholes and stuff. I'm interested to know if you have any sort of like scientific fact that you find very interesting and endearing or anything.
There's a good one I heard lately, but I honestly know nothing about it, so I should probably not talk about it, but I still want to talk about it because it's so interesting.
Do it.
And it's like viruses, very topical, right? There's different types of viruses. One of them is like a rotavirus.
So we're talking biological viruses.
Biological virus, a rotavirus. It's like a DNA strand. It's like a false DNA strand, kind of, right? That can get into your DNA and reproduce on a level of like your kids will have it and so on. So it gets into the human genome, and like something like 30% of the human genome is virus. Just heard that. That's not my fact. I just kind of heard it yesterday and thought I should probably learn more about that, but I never got
Sure, that's why we're here, man. But like it's I mean, viruses and diseases, that's what they're all about. They get in, they manipulate.
Yeah, they take over.
Bacteria is designed, if you want to call it that, to adapt and live and go against vaccines and go against like immunities. That's their whole vibe.
Yeah.
And that's the whole bag. And then you've got like scientists coming in trying to like, you know, it's just one big fight. It's just one big game of Risk between bacteria and scientists, essentially. You know,
Battling it out.
battling it out, man. Battling out the DNA. So this takes over your DNA, manipulates it through.
And it kind of hard codes itself into your DNA, so that if you then reproduce, that is in the DNA that you pass on.
What kind of disease?
I think it's called a rotavirus.
And what's the?
But I'm probably
effects of
completely
it?
wrong. That's the thing, you know.
It's
the wide ranging. You know, some of them are harmless. Some of them are benefits. Probably. I mean, some of them have like evolutionarily benefited people. I don't know. I didn't read enough about it. Look into it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, look into rotavirus.
Rotavirus. Yeah.
Rotavirus.
Now, what I would actually say is like my favorite science fact. And again, I don't know enough about it, but this is one of those WTF areas in science. I think there's no one in the world really that can accurately describe it.
Right.
It's quantum coupling.
Quantum
Entanglement. Right?
This is like with string theory and stuff.
Subatomic levels of stuff, right? You've got little particles, and I don't even know what they're called. They're not atoms, they're smaller than that.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Quarks or something, right?
Okay. I love it.
You've got one quark, right?
I love it. A lot of people watching this are going to be like, is this science stuff? Is this a science bit?
And that's the thing about it. This is how it's so interesting, is nobody understands. This is way beyond even the experts. But basically, here's how I understand, and I make up the gaps if I don't understand something. I fill in the gaps.
Okay,
you've got a tiny little particle, right? And you kind of you couple it with another part. You entangle it with another particle.
That kind of makes sense.
And they are now like twins, right? Mm-hmm. So if you spin one way, the other one will spin the other way,
right? Instantly.
No matter how far apart they are. One of them can be on one side of the universe, the other one can be on the other side of the universe.
Oh, I think I know this.
And you change the spin on one of them.
And it changes the spin on the other one?
Faster than the speed of light.
That's right.
Apparently,
instantaneously.
Instantaneous.
I've heard of this.
Yeah. No, what the fuck is that about?
What the fuck is that about,
And
man?
this brings up all sorts of problems.
Dude, this is some like black hole, fucking
this
white
just
hole
destroys science. Because everyone is like, that shouldn't work. But it does. We're testing it. And also, when you test it, that's when it gets weirder. Because...
it behaves only when you don't look.
Here's how I understand it, right?
Yeah.
A particle has, let's say, 4 or 5 different possibilities of state. And it's probably way more than that, but let's say it's 4 or 5.
Like gas, solid,
no, like spinning one way, spinning the other way.
Fair enough, right.
And let's say they all exist on a wave of possibility.
Oh.
They all exist at the same time, basically, because they're all possible.
Yeah. So
anything that's possible in this tiny little world exists. It's not might. They all exist simultaneously. But when you look at it, they all of them stop existing except for one.
Yes.
And I don't know how they know this, but when you're not looking at it, they all exist. And when you are looking at it, one of them exists.
Dude,
there's different possibilities.
It's mental. It's actually mental.
So
this is the kind of mind-blowing stuff that is why I have this segment on the program.
So let's translate this into like our world, right?
But it's the
the possibilities.
But it's the kind of cat in the box thing. What's
it
called
again?
Schrodinger's cat. Yeah.
The cat is both alive and dead. He's not one or the other. He's both alive and dead.
Is the cat
until you open the box?
Exactly. If you can't see it, like, is it in there? You know.
Well, yeah. I don't get how that is, because he's either alive or dead. No, he's both.
Yeah.
He's both.
Yeah.
And then you open the box and he's one. Pick one.
Pick one.
Anyway, it's crazy. But like, can you imagine translating that into your life? Every possibility of, let's say, my future exists. It's not might. It exists, and maybe this is like split worlds or something.
Aye.
But I don't think you can translate it into that. But it just kind of
big Stevie Hawkins translated it into the layman's terms with black holes and the brief history of time. So I guess it just needs to take someone to actually find the time to kind of put this into a kind of a penguin book for us.
Abridged. Well, I think famously that's the problem with it. This tiny little world doesn't quite fit with the like normal sized world, and that is what they're trying to figure out with.
Yeah, it's almost
hydrogen colliders and stuff.
It's the Hadron Collider in
you got no idea what they're doing there, but something to do with that.
It's they're creating black holes down there, but they're convinced that they're not creating anything
they're like, it'll be fine, don't worry.
Because their argument is that we're getting cosmic rays that hit Earth all the time.
They're like, look guys, if we create a black hole, you won't even know about it, so don't worry.
That's exactly it, man. Yeah. Oh, right, you created one there, man. You didn't even look, nothing happened to you. It's fine, man. So this is the part of the show where you get to ask me one question, whatever you want, I don't know what it is prior to this, so just hit me.
All right. Let's see. I think everybody's kind of starved for adventure this year. You know. So what was your last adventure? Whether that was a holiday or just something that you would describe as an adventure.
I don't know, mate. I've had 0 adventures.
I mean, maybe it was last year. Maybe it was the year before. Maybe it was the time you went to Egypt.
Okay. Yeah, okay, my last adventure was a while ago, man. It was a while ago.
Thought so.
I went to Egypt for like 5 days just on my own. It took me about 16 hours to get there, even though it's like a 8-hour trip.
Like camel or what?
So I done that. Do you know like this like Urla was pirating? Do you know what Urla was pirating? It's like a discount holiday app.
Okay.
And
Last minute kind of thing.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, I really needed to just get away from Berlin, and I booked a 5-day like holiday, like kind of half board down to Egypt, and just on the Red Sea, on the coast of the Red Sea, and it cost like something like 300 quid all in. Flights, hotel, and food, right? But
fully booked.
well, not all inclusive.
Yeah.
Half board. So breakfast and dinner, and it was a nightmare, man. Yeah. It was an absolute nightmare. It was the worst.
Sounds it.
Dude, it was the worst fucking journey. That I was on my own. I was getting away from Berlin. Not that anything particularly bad had happened. I just desperately needed to get away from the city. I needed to see the ocean. I wanted to just not be in Europe. I wanted to just go somewhere else, right? And this was cheap enough. 16-hour flight. Pure chatting away to people on the flight and stuff. It was great. The airline lost my bags, so I arrive at 7 in the morning to the hotel, and they said my room isn't going to be ready till 2. I said, here man, I've lost my bags. Well, someone else has lost my bags, but just listen, can I get booze? And he was like, aye. And I was like, and where's the beach? And I just sat on the beach for a couple of hours in jeans and a leather jacket and a fucking scarf.
Incognito.
And then I had to find out. So this is a resort, so there was no cafe, club, bar, like no supermarket, nothing, right? There was one shop that they had in the place, and that done like some Pringles,
cigarettes and nice chuck.
Cigarettes, exactly, yeah. And loads of ornaments. And I was like, I can't eat them, man. So, but they also had like wee things that you might need for the swimming pool, like shorts, a towel, goggles, whatever, suntan lotion. So I said, well, look, I've got insurance on this, so I'll go and just get a bunch of stuff and I'll get my money back. I just put it on a card. And but man, down there, like it was, they've not got like, you know, the systems that we've got in Berlin, like your order bird or using your IMAX and all that kind of nonsense, right? They just got bits of paper writing stuff down. So I said to him, I was like, here man, can you do me a favour? Can you just, he was writing, it was like €10 for all this stuff. I was like, can you add an extra 0 onto that?
Now, was he just writing a receipt for you, or did you have to ask for the receipt first of all?
No, he was just writing a receipt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like...
And I was like, add another 0 onto that so I can get my money. Pure admitting to fraud. It never worked out in the end, and that was probably my... I didn't even...
Getting paid by insurance companies is not as easy as you think.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. Like, I called them up at the end, and I was like, look, this is the receipt. I'll send you the receipt like that. This isn't a receipt. Anyone could have wrote this. I was like, well, that's the fucking culture in Egypt. You fucking bring that up with them. You know what I mean? I didn't choose them. I didn't say, just use your wee notepad and send you a big fancy machine, you know? I thought that. Ja, aber es ist kein Steuernummer hier. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Or kind of Steuernummer or whatever it is, you know? Anyway, long story short, it was quite...
Misadventure, maybe.
It was a misadventure. It was a misadventure. Okay, man, so let's see here. One last thing before you go, I think. Okay, this could be good, man. Okay, so one last thing before we leave you, man. Just give us your strangest habit. Do you have any strange habits that you might want to admit to the nation?
All right, so strange habits. I would say probably annoying habits.
Right, okay.
You know, well, first of all, I'm really messy.
Are you?
I'm fucking chaotic, man.
Yeah, okay, you are a bit.
And I kind of always, make this excuse, creative people are always messy, which is bullshit. Right? It's creativity. I'm such a fucking mess. It drives my wife crazy. But at the same time, I try to organize my thoughts and actions really a lot, right? To the point where if I'm trying to describe something to somebody, I will like minutely lay out all the steps in that thing, and they're like, for fuck's sake.
Well, right. Why do you do that? Is that
because I don't know what people know and what they don't.
Right. Okay.
You know? So if I'm expecting someone to do something and I want to explain, even meeting me at a certain place, I don't know how they now people have phones with maps on them, but I used to be like, let me draw you a map, and they'd be like, here's the bridge and there's two swans now, they might not be there. When you pass by there might be only one swan, but this is my...
And if he's in a box, is he there? Is he not there? Is he dead or alive?
Both. It's both, alright? Yeah. So it's kind of a mix of being a complete mess and trying to organise everyone else's life. They're strange habits, I would say.
Interesting. Okay, I can get that. I've definitely have experienced that from you. So fair enough, man. All right, man. Thanks for coming along the show, man. Why don't you tell the people how what you've got coming up, how they can...
Is this the plug bit?
This is the plug bit. How they can get in contact with you, website, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. Go for it.
Well, I guess the next big thing that we're doing is opening a restaurant, Crazy Bastard Kitchen, which is what we've been doing for weekends, but now we're doing it full time. So just come down to our shop on Weserstrasse 168 and take like 3 steps to your right.
Yeah, totally.
Because it's right next door.
It's right next door, man.
It's going to be great.
It's brilliant.
So we're going to be doing takeaway there for a while, and honestly, I mean, if you want to get out of the house and come down for a walk, you'd be doing us a big favour and buying something, because that is expensive stuff, and we need all the help we can get to keep it going.
Yeah.
So God knows when, like February, mid-February, who knows?
I'd say March, but yeah.
I mean, once we can let people in there, we're going to start doing the weekends. We're going to get that vegan sushi thing on the go. We're going to be pulling tap beer and all this. Going to be great. But until then, it's not easy, you know. But we are not alone in this. This is what everyone is experiencing.
Get on to crazybsauce.com. That's where the website is. Facebook, Crazy Bastard Sauce. Instagram, Crazy Bastard Sauce. You won't miss it. It's the only thing. It's called Crazy Bastard Sauce. And get down, support your local kitchen. Have some takeaways. Go down and show some support. Buy some hot sauce.
Excuse me, where can I get myself a drink?